Hi everyone, I'm Scott Hoke. Welcome to highlights of our coverage of Dana Mecum's 39th Original Spring Classic from the Indiana State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis. Okay, coming up next, 1970s production with the 365 GTS 4 Daytona Spyder.
Yep, yes, the Spyder. This, of course, has that 4-cam engine, the one that everybody wants in their 365 GTS. Of course, has the 5-speed manual and the gated shifter. And this is one of only 14 that were produced in the Argento Metallizzato exterior paint with a black interior.
Well, as that Daytona rolls across the block, I've got to say it. I just had an absolute ball seeing those cars roll. Wasn't that fantastic?
Oh, all the way.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
There are a few more Ferraris still to come.
F142.
All right, next up on the auction block, Chris Jacobs previewed this a couple of days ago, and this is one of those Porsches that kids back when I was a kid had posters of this car, and you heard about the 959, and it was just this almost, here in the States anyway, this mythical car. Well, here we go with an 87 959 Comfort.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the poster on the wall, Scott. I'm right there with you. This car has always been my favorite Porsche. Originally known as the Group B, because that's what the racing series it was developed for. That never came to material, but Porsche did produce this car in very low numbers. Only 292 Sport and Comforts were produced. This is one of the Comforts. Interesting to note, too, they took the spare parts years later in 1992 and made 6 additional cars. And I love the fact that this value is already at 2.1.
Oh, boy.
We're at 2.1. And that is your hammer price for an 87 959 Comfort.
Yep.
1971 365 GTS 4 Daytona Spyder from Ferrari, and it's got Steve Matchett's name written all over it.
Well, we were mentioning it a little earlier on that this era at Maranello was starting to wind down, and then after this came the 512 BBI with the engine in the back. If you had to finish the front engine era for that time, what a way to go out, because this car is just absolutely beautiful. It really did become an oxymoron, to say it, an instant classic. Everybody immediately fell in love with the Daytona. This is the Daytona Spyder, clearly, the soft-top version. The car has been certified by Ferrari. It has a Red Book certification. So when the car returns to Maranello, they will check absolutely every nut, bolt, and washer to confirm it is absolutely as it left Maranello back in 1971.
And also, that's the original bodywork, which tells me this was born as a Spyder, not a conversion car.
And as I say, as it went back to Maranello for the Red Book certification, Maranello was saying yes, indeed.
And in the meantime, how about this little Ford versus Ferrari matchup, if you will? It's actually a Shelby, but that's okay. 65 Shelby GT350R.
SFM5 Shelby Ford Mustang 1965 R. It is a real R model, one of only 34 production R models. There were 2 prototypes prior to that, and one of those prototypes is the one that Ken Miles won the first race out with it.
The Flying Mustang,
Green Valley,
right?
Texas, yeah.
Oh, the reserve came off way back at what, 1.6, 1.7?
I thought it was
something like that.
1.9 maybe, or I know it sat around 1.9 momentarily, and they were trying to get to 2, and now look at this.
Well, sooner or later, somebody's got to deliver the knockout punch, Bill.
Yeah, little bite here, a little bite there, and we're waiting for the big one.
Sure. You've been a worthy adversary. 2,000,005. Anybody else? 2,600,000.
I think somebody's out.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Well fought.
You handled it well. All right, I'll call you 1 second.
$2.5 million. We are not finished yet. This is a 67 Ferrari 275 GTB4.
Scott, we mentioned this earlier on, that these cars are built in a different time, perhaps a more elegant time, but look at all this again. Now we've gone to the 4-cam engine inside the Colombo engine here. Dual ignition systems on the car, and the idea by that is we can double the dwell angle time and therefore double the saturation time on the coils to give stronger sparks. Remember, this is all pre-electronic ignition day, so this is Ferrari playing with a system to try and generate a more stronger spark, but they got it to work. 6 downdraft Webers on the car again, so each cylinder has its own choke, its own carburetor tubes going down, which Bill and I were talking about a little earlier on, but a really magnificent engine. But it isn't just the engine on this car, it's the bodywork again. It's that Pininfarina just absolutely excelling themselves with the design of the car.
And as you have probably gathered, they're taking extra special time with these very, very special cars. All of them.
I will say, Scott, that the 275, the GTB4, was recognized as being a fantastic car back in the 80s when I was working with Maranello. So it was always appreciated. We haven't had to wait for it to suddenly jump up like the 246 Dino, for example. It's always been there.
This one just sells for $2.6 million. We pick up the bidding on the legendary Lamborghini Miura at $3.1 million.
Yeah, 1972 Miura P400 SV Super Veloce, super fast, and it is. Odometer reads about 1,500 or so kilometers, and the only example produced in this color, the blue Tahiti with the gold accents, white leather interior, and those gold Kent Vignolo 3-air knockoff wheels.
Bill, you mentioned it earlier on. This is the only one that left the factory in this Tahiti blue.
Yep, 1 of 1.
Didn't Lamborghini drop the ball there? Because I would have produced another 100 of them. It looks so
I know, what a great color.
That looks beautiful.
4,200,000 or 4.
Yeah, 4.250. That works.
Absolutely take America. 4,500,000.
Go half, Marty. Yeah, 4.250. Like you said.
4,500,000.
250!
4,500,000.
You know, you can tell, Stephen, that Ferrari was watching what Lamborghini was doing. 1972, production of the Daytona was winding down. What was the next iteration of the Ferrari? The Berlinetta Boxer.
12 Boxer engine in the rear.
Yeah.
No question, Bill. No question.
Thank you, Marty. Good to see you.
Okay, coming up next, the F40.
Well, you just talked about the different generations, the different decades of Ferrari on offer here, and clearly this is from a very different time, but still, wow. Right?
Wow.
Still wow.
For so many reasons.
Yeah. The last car, the very last car that Enzo Ferrari signed off on in his lifetime. And his chief mechanic from Scuderia Ferrari, Joan Villadel-Prat, who I worked with at Benetton, showed Enzo Ferrari the car when it was finished, when he was chief mechanic at Maranello.
Yes.
He said, this is the car, Enzo. And it was just, again, it was, wow.
Rick Hendrick is an interested bidder. He was the high man for a second. Let's see if he comes back on this F40. They're in the lower left-hand corner.
4,700,000.
Yeah, they get 471 horsepower out of a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V8 engine.
One more time.
40th anniversary of Ferrari, the F50, 50th anniversary of Ferrari, the Enzo, 60th anniversary of Ferrari, LaFerrari, 70th anniversary of Ferrari, and now the F80 is on the threshold.
Oh, it's out there. $4.7 million.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
It is.
I know. I understand.
Well, here it is. The LaFerrari from 2014. And Bill, the mileage on this is almost unbelievable.
Well, on a day when almost everything is unbelievable, you're right. 57 delivery miles, and that is it.
Yeah.
We opened the bidding on this car at $5 million.
And here's the hybrid, Steve.
It's the hybrid 2014 Ferrari LaFerrari, the Ferrari. You mentioned this earlier, Scott, that this is the one car that Ferrari didn't use Pininfarina for their design philosophy. They went in-house to build this car, to design the car. I guess that's in fitting with it being LaFerrari.
The ultimate Ferrari.
Or everything done in-house.
Yes.
But I am absolutely convinced that when Ferrari started to use the hybrid electronic system on the car, they were not thinking that they would save any money on it. They were just thinking, where can we get that extra power from?
I got behind the wheel of one of these LaFerraris and drove it in Monterey. Yes, only 5 miles an hour. But just the sensation of how it wraps around you, how low you sit to the ground, and the incredible power that's at your fingertips. Even at 5 mph, man, it was a sensory overload.
An extraordinary machine.
I take my hat off to you.
Yeah. Well,
Hammered home. Sold $7,800,000. Drake Spratlin.
well, here's another car that you can chalk up to the very, very rarely seen on the auction block. It's a 2005 Maserati MC12.
Guys, I'm going to jump in here because to me, I think those lines that you see, this being the cousin to the Enzo, you look at the way that they said, okay, we still want this car to be different. How do we move air across even this one? It has the same carbon fiber monocoque chassis, Steve, that we saw on the Enzo, but it's really interesting because it is a totally different vibe and view than the Enzo.
Yeah, it has. It does share several similar features to the Enzo. The screen's the same, right? There's a lot of components that are the same, but I think this is Maserati putting their own ideas of aerodynamics on the car, not just to replicate what was happening in Maranello, but the end result is pretty stunning trims at the back, how they've got this rear wing to work. I mean, there's an awful lot of rear wing on the back of this car as well here, right? I think get the air to spill from the left and right sides to keep it that way. It's beautiful, yeah.
Reach another little milestone. 8.6 million is the current bid.
Raise that hammer high.
Sold $8,600,000. Sold $8,600,000.
Terrific.
Telephone.
Terrific.
$8.6 million for the MC12 from Maserati in 2005. Well, Bill, you mentioned the
progression,
thank you, of the commemorative Ferraris, and here's the next one after the F40, the F50.
8.7.
8.7 today. You want to get 9 million? Jordy, you want to get 9? 8.7, 8.8.
I'm delighted to see these cars being appreciated like this.
Absolutely,
Absolutely
right.
delighted.
Yeah. It's taking me back to Kissimmee and the Bachmann collection.
Yes.
The same kind of vibe.
Yes.
8.8.
Listen to that crowd now.
Going to the individual on the other end of the phone there at $8.9 million. Well, you've heard the expression from us any number of times. They are only original once. And we begin with Steve Matchett and this 2003 Ferrari Enzo, Brother Matchett.
Yeah, and it does absolutely look brand new. The Enzo Ferrari, have a look around the profile of the car here at the front as a little nod and homage to a Formula One style front wing. That's what the engineers wanted to put on this car, which is dedicated to all things Enzo Ferrari.
Well, this is the only Enzo with this paint on it. The Grigio Titanio 140 paint. Wow. One of 6 that have painted overall in this color, but this is the only one with this paint and interior combination. And Steve, if I'm not wrong, this would have been the last non-hybrid, naturally aspirated Ferrari before the LaFerrari followed.
I think that's right. And the Ferrari engineers were very keen. They wanted to keep that naturally aspirated again because that, you know, it's a pure racing engine, that naturally aspirated V12. I'm surprised they didn't do a 60-degree V12 because when you look in the back, it is narrow. But the specs say that it's a 65-degree, 5-degree more, because it helps with the the routing of the exhaust system on the car.
Sold $9,300,000.
9.3 million.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, not
it
at
doesn't
all.
surprise me.
1963 Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase, or as you see, SWB California Spyder, the last of these builds. Steve Matchett.
Have a look inside this car, inside the engine bay. Here's the story of it. The black crack cam covers on the 2-cam Colombo engine just set this engine off perfectly. 3 downdraft Webers on the car. There's that twin ignition system we talked about before with the coils. But it really is the power plant and also the bodywork. I think we're seeing Pininfarina at their absolute zenith in this time period in 1963. The collaboration between Maranello and Pininfarina with this bodywork is just beyond beautiful.
Now 16 million is bid and the reserve is off.
Only 55 of these were built. I mean, you want rarity?
Last call.
You've got it.
Yeah.
Between 1960 and 1963, that's it.
It definitely seems like the people bidding are folks that know this market and know these cars.
Yes,
Steve.
absolutely.
16.5 million waiting on the next bid if there is one.
Big round. Sold 16 billion.
Nope.
500 pounds.
$16.5 million. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Mecum Accelerated. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Scott Hoke. So long, everyone.